Hello everyone, welcome. It's another beautiful day. It's another beautiful day here in Kenya. We are here for the daily surveillance. At the end of the day, we're going to see what's happening around business in the entire world, not only in Kenya, not only in East Africa, but the entire world. I know today is Sunday, Leon is Sunday, and everybody now is going to church or something like that. But at the end of the day, money doesn't stop, business doesn't sleep. So let's get to it. I hope you've had a good morning. Get your coffee, get your coffee. Let's go to my sec. So around the world of business, what we're going to start with, let's see. What we're going to start with, we're going to start with the business daily. At the end of the day, this is where we usually start. Yeah, we're going to start with the business daily. Starting from here. Okay, so why cardio versus weights debate misses the real point of fitness? As a person who's into fitness myself, whichever way you want to go, at the end of the day, health is wealth. Everything serves a purpose. If you're lifting weights, if you're doing cardio, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, in as much as we talk about money, and at the end of the day, even though it's a weekend and the markets is closed, the real wealth is health. I'll never stress that. I'll never get tired of stressing that. At the end of the day, I hope you're taking care of your health. Even though you're looking for money, I hope you're taking care of your health. You can't spend money if you're unhealthy and in the hospital and you're wheezing and you have an oxygen mask. And again, yeah, it makes sense. Wezi kaa kwa hospitali mazee umetengeneza hiyo pesa yote alafu yote saa unaenda kuispend kwa hospitali ya make sense. So kitu ya kwanza mazee kukumbuka hii Sunday, your health is your wealth. Health yako ndio wealth yako, regardless of how much money you have. Unaweza kuwa na pesa zote kwa hii dunia mazee, bado unahangaika mazee, na kuna msee mazee ana do mazee ako na health yake na he'll still get to where you are and he'll still enjoy. So make sure you take care of your health. Your health is number one. So let's continue. So here, as you can see over here, where is it? As you can see over here, the markets are closed. Things went up and down from Friday. Now we are waiting till tomorrow so the markets can open up again. Tomorrow from 9 a.m. is when the markets open. And then from there now you can start, going mazee, unaangalia buying, selling here, you're buying, you're selling here, you're buying, you're selling here, unauza hii, unaenda hivi. So it's all good. Checking. So the one part that's here is so as you can see over here, Alan Kilabuka, I think this is the CEO. This is the now former CEO of KQ, the chief of staff, Alan Kivaluka. He's accepted a 131 million KQ exit payout. Well, at the end of the day, you start something, you have to finish it. So good for him. I don't know what that means for KQ. There's a time KQ was facing profits. I think it was last year. I don't know if you can see it from over here, but yeah. So everything else. Oh, and NCBA staff to get a 1.9 billion shillings in share after Nedbank. So Nedbank is this knee bank imetoka South Africa. What it's doing, it's what's it called? It's buying out NCBA. It bought out a share of NCBA. So the NCBA group will start distributing 21.8 million of its shares, currently worth 1.9 billion, to qualifying employees after South African bank acquires a 66% stake in the Nairobi Securities Exchange listed lender. So now you have to wonder where NCBA as far as NCBA is concerned, 66%. How much is 66%? Rubies appoints Frenchman as Kenyan CEO. So this is new. This is new news. Rubies appoints Frenchman's Kenya CEO amid local talent push. Honestly, At this point, there's something we honestly need to address. I know it's somebody else's company, and at the end of the day, one might tell them how to run, but I think we have enough talent here in Kenya to run the companies that are in Kenya. You know, it's like a Chinese company. You don't get to see a Chinese company hiring a Frenchman to run their companies. At the end of the day, they're like, see, we are good enough. We are as good. Like, I personally see the fact that we are good enough to run even multinational corporations. It's just that tumeko in this bubble that we honestly, I don't get what a Frenchman is doing here in this country. Personally, this is not anybody else's opinion. This is just me. I don't get what a Frenchman is doing in this country. We have enough. We have enough. Not even local talent. As long as you're playing in the Kenyan business circle, you're an international player. So there's no debate about that. Like we've shown time and time again, we are good enough to play on the world stage. At the end of the day, you can see somebody like James Mwangi. It speaks for itself. We are good enough to actually play in the world stage. We don't need people from outside the country coming in and taking. So anyway, that's one point for the other. Any other thing? I like this last part. Apart from the local part, like Kenyan talent is international talent. It's not just local talent. It's we are actually that good. Anyway, going forward. So there's something I saw over here that's worth taking a look at. Over here, I saw the green bond attracts 32% of oversubscription. There's this one. There's two things that I'd like to put my attention to. There's this one, and then there's another one. There's another one. You can see here Silicon Savannah goes to counties as Kenya eyes startups FDI boom with new technopolis law. Interesting. Inside the Nairobi factory making, yeah, exactly, something like this. This is really nice. You see, when I said like we're actually good enough to make our own things, I really mean it. Ukiangalia like the world stage, we are really good enough to make our own things, to run our own companies. It's just that kuna kuanga na, I don't even know how to put it. Here and there, Maze, you get people who just want to cut the other way. So, but we are actually that good. That's what I know for a fact. Anybody who's playing in the Kenyan business field, especially where money is concerned, is an international player. We're not just playing locally here. So KMRC Green Bond. There's a green bond. Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company inaugural green bond. I didn't even know there was a green bond. When was this? In the year December 2025, net earnings stood at 1 billion, having contracted marginally compared to 1.3 billion in. This is a lot of money. Inaugural green bond defied absence of a tax-free sweetener to attract bids worth 9.4 billion against the targeted 3 billion. What? So anybody who's watching this, who knows somebody who's into green building, you should show them this part kusema ukweli, because financing for green building. Let me give you an example. There's that green building in Gong Road after you pass Prestige. Same thing. It's not story of providing cheap loans. It's green loans. At the end of the day, sustainable building, not even sustainable building using materials other than what hurts the ocean is actually a much better option. So anybody who knows somebody who's in green buildings, basi, you've seen it. Kenya has enacted a Technopolis Act allowing counties to build their own Konza-style smart city to create new hubs for startup research institutions and foreign investors. Well, that is a step forward, man. But Honestly, what I can say is I hope no one builds something like a stone building here and then say, hey, this is we are groundbreaking the technopolis, and then nothing happens. Kenya actually has big talent technology wise. There's the World Quant Championships. Pali jamaa mazee, jamaa alifika number 2 globally. Alikuwa ametoka sijui ilikuwa Chuka ama ni Embu. Yes, there's a guy like if you want to really know, let me just show you so that you can actually understand what I'm talking about. The world, the world, world, world quant championships 2025. Okay, so acha tuone, because this is something that, at the end of the day, if I'm saying we are international players, international world quant championships, 11,000 universities across 142 countries, that was held in copy, targeted 80,000 participants. When you get World Quant Championships, place third place went to John Tingoi from Chuka University in Kenya. So we are that good. Like John Tingoi, me, I would like to talk to this guy, Maze, just so that he can be an inspiration to the rest. I don't know why, like the news channels haven't picked up on him yet. At the end of the day, I'm not here to tell anybody how to run things, but you can actually see for yourself. John Tingoi from Chuka University became the third place amongst 80,000 people, 80,000 participants from 11,000 universities across 142 countries, submitting more than 263,000 alphas. Those are like algorithms for the chance to win a prize pool of $100,000. That's 10 million. We are that good. And somebody is coming to tell me, Maze, we need a Frenchman to come and tell us how to run our business. I don't think so. Honestly speaking, I don't think so. Another thing to celebrate. In a brightly air-conditioned Nairobi industrial area, blue hair course in smartphones. So inside, let me just see if I can get this thing so we can actually see what I'm actually talking about, because at the end of the day, we are that good. Like there's no thing that people are coming to tell us that how to run our things. We don't need outside parties. We are actually that good. So when you get Mkopa is scaling assembly. So Nairobi's prominent smartphone manufacturing plant spearhead by Mkopa in partnership with HMD Global produces 7,500 budget devices daily, driven by heavy excess duties on imported phones, the local assembly. So what I'm trying to push is we can actually make our own things. If anybody has comments on any incentives that are offered for any persons wishing to enter into manufacturing instead of like the service industry, please, I would ningependa kusikia comment yako, because this is something I'm actually it's on my agenda vibaya sana. I would actually love if we do more manufacturing within this country and export instead of importing. So yeah, I think from there we're just going to leave this for now, and then we're gonna tutachambua hizi vitu kabisa. Hii part ya Ruby's appoint Frenchman, I don't really get that part, but it's okay. It's not my company, but at the end of the day, I don't get what a Frenchman is doing in this country. We have enough international Kenyans who are in this country who can run that company. Anyway, it's all good. So let's see what's happening in Tanzania. Tanzania glass manufacturer protests Kenya's proposed tax. Interesting. Samia appoints new, including KSSF. Police intensify inquiry into Lisu aid abduction claims US. Let's just look at what's happening in business so that we get through it as fast as possible. Initiative unveils to boost local startup skills and funding. So there's three things that we're seeing over here. This one we saw yesterday, 195 million dispute for graphite mining, 33 billion bond on DSE after 220% subscription. That's an oversubscription. I didn't even know. So these things we're just learning as we go. At the end of the day, we're just learning mdogo as we go. A new initiative dubbed Startups za Viwango. Startups za Viwango has been launched to accelerate the growth of Tanzanian startups. So this is the same thing that's also happening in Kenya. It's just that it's from a white man and a Chinese man. Honestly, vitu kaa hizi hazinibambe. At the end of the day, I know they are going to help somebody in need, but I think it's finally time that we depend on ourselves. We should be loaning the French youth money now at this point. The French youth now, the story should read Tanzania Chamber of Commerce offers aid to French youth. That would be a nice headline. Ama Kenya a Kenyan finance ama investor offers aid to German youth to help with technology because we are that good. You cannot tell me we are not that good. We are that good. Somebody just anyway, sawa basi. But yeah, that's hiyo ni Tanzania glass manufacturer protest proposed tax. Just 2 weeks after Tanzania and Kenyan leaders agreed to remove all trade barriers by media in an effort to raise the country's trade to $1 billion. A Tanzanian-based company is protesting Kenya's 35. Yeah, President Samia Suluhu and the Kenya counterpart said 2 weeks ago that they are set June 30th, 2026 as the deadline for eliminating all non-tariff barriers in line with the directive. So basically, maybe this is somebody who's extorting the company before like their well runs dry. So I actually think that's a good thing. All trade barriers between all African countries should drop down. This is a good step forward because when it happens, when Africa can actually freely trade between each other, because trading in Europe for an African is easier than trading in Africa because of all the barriers. That would be a great day. At the end of the day, like nilikuwa nimesema yesterday, the agenda of the day is Africa has to become a superpower. One way or the other, Africa has to become a superpower. It's not negotiable. It's not like I'm negotiating about this thing, and it's either you're with that agenda or you're our enemy. If that agenda is not on anybody's plan coming into this continent, then that's the enemy. Why don't you want us to become a superpower? We don't need aid. We need you to buy our processed and manufactured goods at the price that we've set. If you want aid, we'll give you aid because we are that rich. And that's a reality that's going to come true. World Bank document shows 27 countries seeking to ensure access to crisis fund. Officially, what is a crisis fund? What do you mean there's a crisis fund? What's a crisis fund? So what's a crisis fund? World Bank document shows 27 countries seeking to ensure access to crisis fund. I won't be threatened by drunk councillors, Mtungamo Mayor, Kafureka warns. CEC gives nod to Oboth Tayebwa. Well, at the end of the day, even me, I don't know what is going on here, but we're going to understand everything that's happening in and around East Africa and Africa. We're going to see a pattern. You're going to see a pattern. Ugandan caught hotel brands in a bid to change its skyline. Okay. Risk management basics. Barnett Mbabazi declared NRM flag bearer. Using of politics to see what's happening in business. Still the same. How much? From 1.6 million to 1 million USCC data shows a sharp drop in pay TV subscription. That was of the internet. Maybe internet access has gone up. 116 Ugandan farms get export boost. What was that about? Because yesterday we read that the Ugandan stock market has actually gone up. The biggest achievement of the Invite project, particularly under the export farm support component, to date, 116 have signed grant agreements and received targeted support to improve their export competitiveness. That's actually very nice. Okay, so Uganda's things are going up, apart from somebody being threatened by drunk counselors. Oh my god. US senators target Tanzania over postponed crackdown, China ties. Okay. EU lifts visa curb as Ethiopia diplomatic reset gathers pace. Wait, what is that? The European Union messaged restrictive visa rules for Ethiopians. Ending a 2-year regime that has made access to the Schengen area more difficult for applicants in Addis Ababa. What's happening in South Africa? Still the same stuff. Ramaphosa. Xenophobia is still rampant there, so okay. Central Africa, I still don't get what the Pope has to do with Central Africa. Cameroon reintroduces Vice President after more than 40 years. Hey, God help us. Hey, Mungu tusaidia Kenan. We need to rise up against such. What is this? What is this? Especially this. What is this? These people should be at home resting, you know. Well, what are they doing here? You know, frankly, it's disgusting to see something like that. Well, the youth are just there dangling. A 92-year-old Maze, the biggest achievement he can say is reintroducing a vice president after 40 years. Pathetic. But anyway, it is what it is. It's the reality we're actually facing. So, North Africa, West Africa is still struggling with wars. North Africa is the Ethiopian-Sudan war. There's not much you can actually get from here in terms of business news. So let's go to the Financial Times. Financial Times. No, this is international news. Tulsi Gabbard resigns as Donald Trump's U.S. intelligence chief. The new arms race in computing power. Yeah, there's actually a big arms race in computing power. Because yesterday, you remember when we read about quantum computing going for AI. Still a big thing, but yeah, it's okay. Trump administration to make foreigners leave US to apply for green card. Yeah. China Inc. goes shopping for Western consumer brands. That's interesting. You see what happens when you believe in yourself, like as a country and as a continent. Like this is what we do. We go shopping for companies in the US. We sit down with US companies and we tell them, what's your problem? You need money? Yeah, we have money. We can give you some money. So instead of the US companies coming here and making it seem like there are Lord and Saviors, which They're really not. We really need to find a way to govern ourselves. So yeah, EU rejects UK's push to create a single market for goods. The UK exited the EU. Senegal president sacks prime minister after power struggle. Interesting. Why? Mexico World Cup haunted by 130,000 disappeared people. What? Hey, the infinity and beyond with SpaceX IPO. This SpaceX IPO is actually a big deal. Hold on. Yeah, this SpaceX IPO is actually a big deal if you actually look at it. Yeah. As athletes gather for steroid, we talked about the steroid yesterday. Market insight, business insights, bond slumps. What this is generally is just a general overview of everything that's going on. We're just looking to find a pattern. We're looking to find a pattern in the reporting of this news, in business news, at the end of the day, what to look for, what not to look for, because eventually we are going to be trading. Yeah. So what are we exactly, what exactly is going on? Where do we exactly look at, one day after the other? Nika kuingia gym. You can't get everything right on the first time, you pick up some things that you go on. So let us take this journey together. 30, the 30 trillion challenge, how the most influential asset owners shape our lives. When was it? June. May, June. What's this about? Let's see. So the crypto industry braces. This is what we're talking about. The crypto industry bracing for quantum computing, and how quantum computing. It's just that we don't have. We're going to subscribe to this. We're going to subscribe to this. $1. Try unlimited access for $1 for 4 weeks. So I guess that's it. Free webinar. This is a webinar. Accept cookies. I don't know. So it's a free webinar on 3rd June. From. So let's go. We're going to register for that. What's the Wall Street Journal? So the biggest news right now is actually what people are saying right now is how Trump is losing the plot, which, to be honest, anybody who's dealing with Trump, I don't know how he himself has not bowed out to the pressure. I know he has a lot of enemies, who are he's trying to shape up his country, but he has a lot of enemies who have their own vested interests. Same as when Biden was there. People can't agree. It's not like US is like Russia or China. At the end of the day, what Xi Jinping says goes, what Putin says goes. But in Trump, when it comes to Trump, it's a mess. So, but apart from that, the low tech playbook that will launch SpaceX Strato. This is what everybody is actually waiting for. The IPO for SpaceX and how it will raise $80 billion. Everybody is actually waiting for that. We are going to make an edition. I think by tomorrow, I'm going to look at the filing of everything that's about this, so that we can have like an in-depth look. This, at the end of the day, this is not me giving you financial advice. This is just me learning, and we taking the process of learning about the financial world, about the planet finance. Mambo mengi mazuri zinaendelea hapa jo. Siwezi kudanganya. Ni mambo mingi sana bana. I say too much information bwana. So what's still shocking me is this thing. You see this thing. How is this thing still a thing? How are we still being plagued by Ebola? Then those two. I don't even want to say about anything else. So let's Google something right now. Still, two Google the two American nurses contracted Ebola. Ebola. So two American nurses who contracted Ebola in the United States were Nina Pham and Amber Joy Vinson. They both became infected in October 2014 while caring for Thomas Eric Duncan, the first person diagnosed with Ebola in the US at Texas Health Presbytery Hospital in Dallas. Ndio. Transmission. Nina Pham was initially treated at Texas Health before being transferred to the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. She fully recovered and was discharged in October 24. Amber Joy Vision, she was treated in Emory University Hospital's Serious Communicable Disease Unit in Atlanta, Georgia. Vision also successfully cleared the virus and was discharged on October 28, 2014. Since 2014, and now it's 2026, how come we still have this virus? Somebody is not saying something. Two people were successfully treated of this virus, and their names are here. How come this virus is still here? What's going on? They're free of the virus. How did they become free of the virus? And now all of a sudden now we are having an Ebola scare. Like I'm saying right now, Africa needs to be a superpower. We can't be having people from other continents contracting things that we are contracting. Them they getting treated and us we are dying. Something. Africa has to become a superpower. We have to hold ourselves accountable. It's not even up for negotiation. Are you seeing this? Two nurses, bro. Like what Unmanas or Wilwali. Anyway, at the end of the day, if you look at the international markets, we're looking at businesses, and at the end of the day, even though you might think this is not businesses, but this actually will come and affect business over here in East and Central Africa because somebody is keeping the medicines to themselves. WHO, as I'm explaining to what is WHO even doing in our continent at the end of the day? That's one thing I have to ask. They don't help us in any way, you know. Since there was a vaccine that was made for malaria, ever since then it's just been put under wraps, and it was a Kenyan who actually made that vaccine. Anyway, it affects business in a mass scale because at the end of the day, when a lockdown comes, it's going to be a problem for us. At the end of the day, we can't just have people dying left, right, and center. Somebody needs to be held accountable. So yeah. Anyway, but as for everything else, the big thing right now is the SpaceX IPO, and going forward, investors just can't get enough of stock these days. War, inflation, worry about AI boom. Investors can't get enough of that. Trump tells Bush to do own thing as Fed chair sworn in. Arab nation seeks Iran war deal as ceasefire remains fragile. Uh-huh. 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 So yeah, I think going forward, there's a lot to unpack. When you look at this, there's a lot to unpack, especially with the news. Going forward, I think it will be much longer, more longer than 30 minutes, because at the end of the day, we're going to make this into an early morning session. Well, as you're going to work, you're watching me break down everything as I'm going to trade. So thank you so much, guys, for your time. This has been the daily surveillance, and yeah, see you guys again tomorrow.